Good evening, Ira Epstein, and we are now with your metal market wrap-up. And this is for Monday, the 13th of June, 2022, and the time 6:20 p.m. Central Time. I'm in Chicago, downtown Chicago. The first time I've heard it in years. All our sirens went off in the city. We're under tornado watch, but here I am. I'm in a basement anyway, so I'm fairly good shape. Not the best, but fairly good if it hits. It's so rare that a tornado will hit the city. The lake protects us. There was no protection today in the marketplace. You know, after the big CPI number last week and the decline, this market didn't care. It started moving down, and now the market is putting the onus on the Fed. The Fed had locked itself in a way by saying there were going to be 250-point hikes in June and August. June and July. There is no August meeting. Then there's a September meeting. So as the Fed did that, you know, at first it sounded like they were going to appease the market and they're giving the market what it wants. They're going to raise those interest rates and they're going to be fairly aggressive. Now, this is how fickle the market is. Now it's not enough. Now the market wants 75 to a full basis point. Forget me. Jefferies, JP Morgan, Barclays, they're all predicting 75 basis points. I believe at this Wednesday's meeting, from everything I'm reading. I saw other analysts joining in on TV. I don't know. I don't know what the Fed thinks. Here's what I do know. If you take a look at markets, they're lower, but not that much lower in energy. Energy market's still $122 a barrel. What got hit was gasoline. Was 430s, right? Near 440. Has come all the way back out under $4 today. Natural gas, no longer a $9.50, $9.40 market. It's down. Remember that we're now looking at the September stock indices, and we're looking at the September currency. So you have to make your changes and go accordingly. Is gold responding well to all the inflation? No. I don't think getting back to the 1800 level is doing good. I get the break in copper, XME, platinum, palladium. China is on the quest to find more cases of COVID-19 so that they can again lock down. Terrible. We all know it's no good. I've said enough that American business has to move out of China. They are not a reliable source. I can't be any clearer. You do what you want. I happen to think, I'm not a doctor, but I said when COVID came out, I've got the tapes to prove it, that I'll bet this turns into something like the flu, where we just keep getting variation upon variation for a long time to come. Well, guess what? That was 2 years ago. It really hasn't changed. The variants are coming. They're already preparing us that in fall we're going to get something different. So is this what we have to do with China? We got to wait every 3 to 6 months as new variants show up wherever they're going to show up, and then they're going to shut down again? And you want to run a business that way? Okay. But let's get back to the Fed. So we don't know what the Fed's going to do come Wednesday afternoon. A minimum's going to be a 50 basis point hike. 1 point could be a full 100 points. It's very doubtful. A lot of people think 75, somewhere between that and the 50 are it, with a good number of people now swinging to the 75. I want to repeat something. All of our thoughts don't matter. What matters is the input that the committee gives the Fed Chair Powell and what he decides to do. Here's what you know. Anything that's done isn't friendly gold. How can you get more inflation and gold doesn't go up? I don't know what you're waiting for. How do you get Ukraine, the war, and gold goes up briefly, a week, and then it comes down? So I'll let other people play it. Gold's a lost cause at this point in time. If the chart turns good, I'll try it, but I got burned last week. Very minor, $10 on the micro mini contracts. Very small, not willing to risk much because it's been such a disappointing market. And look at it. When I even tried it, I realized I was under, or my recommendation at the time I made it was under the 100, rather the 18-week average of closes. The bias was down anyways, looking for a pop. And now what you have is back-to-back outside days. Go on your charts. Take a look at how rare this is. You have an outside day up on Friday, an outside day down today. You've already made a lower low. I've never seen 3 back-to-back. I'm sure it's on a chart somewhere. Wouldn't know how to play it. But to me, that's bearish. The market has now told you that until you get over the highs of today And the high of today, let's get to it just so that, whoops, didn't want to do that. Let me come back to where we're at. There we are. Come on. There we are. So this was the highs of Friday, 1879.60. You went up to 1882.50 and you let go. Okay. Now you've made a lower low. I think it'll be a hard play to get over that number for a while. I've been doing my outside day course. Too busy to finish it up, as you can imagine, running a brokerage firm, putting out fires in markets like this. You know, in the bull markets, it wasn't putting out fires. You know that. It was, God, this guy needs more margin, blah, blah, blah. Right now, it's putting out fires because people everybody wants to buy, and they're trying to pick bottoms. And it's a bear market, not the thing to do. You're still in the downtrend, as at least I see it. When we look at the weekly chart, you're under the 18-week average of closes. When we take a look at the daily, there you are. I want to get back on line here with the swing line, a higher high, a lower low. Nothing to do there. I've got to learn to work this better. Then you're underneath now the 200-day average in gray. See it? The 100. You're just whipping back and forth. Do you disagree with that statement? That's what you're doing. You can't make money when that happens. 1 minute you're bullish, next minute you're bearish. I mean, I guess if you're a day trader, it's a day trader's delight. And if you're using pivot points, it could be a lot of fun. But when you look at it this way for a trend trade, I don't think it's there. And now you're under the Bollinger Band. So you have gone in, this is wild, in 2 sessions, from lower band to upper band to lower band, just like that. I define you on this chart to keep showing me where that happens. That's how whipsawish it's become. No excuse, that's just what it's become. And momentum down. So as I view it, would I ever tell a client to go short under a Bollinger Band? Never going to happen, because 95% of the time the market will stay within the band, not out of it. So selling it on a break out of it, you're immediately 95% of the time going to be wrong. You will get lucky a few times, and it'll make you do the wrong things, and you'll be the guy that's going to keep selling and telling me it's going down, and each time it comes back up. I imagine if you have enough money to hold on, and it goes against you a couple of $1,000s a contract, you're comfortable with that. I'm certainly not, and neither are most people. Not when you're trading futures with 90% leverage. Stocks are rough enough at 50%. Gold-silver ratio, nothing friendly here. What changed this game in the metals a lot? China, not the Fed as much as you think. If China's going to lock down again, they're not going to buy copper, they're not going to buy iron ore, they're not going to be producing aluminum, they're not going to be producing this, that, whatever. The factories go idle if that's going to be the case again. And they are talking like they've got another issue. That scares the market, whether it turns out to be real or not. In the silver, does anything here look tradable? Look at how narrow you brought in those bands. And what did we say when that was happening? I said, I think this is going to become an untradeable market. It's there. The trend is down. How do you go short under the Bollinger Band when you're oversold? You do it. I don't know how to do that. Copper. Shanghai problem. Beijing, right here. That is when it happened. Go look on your chart, go look at the news, and you will see. And that just pulled the rug out from under the market again. Now, China can right the ship. They could say, hey, we tested 25 million people, we found 45 cases, that's not big enough for us to shut down, blah, blah. But they are ready today in Beijing. They're now the dine-in restaurants, I've heard, shutting down again. Not yet in Shanghai. We'll see. They just completed their test results. Let's see what they do. I find it hard to believe they can test 25 million people and get 39 new cases. You can believe that. You're never going to get me to believe that. In the platinum market, coming on down, in through here, market coming down to those readings. Okay. Oversold. Let's assume it keeps going. All right. Where would you sell it? Okay. If you sell it here, you're going to risk the 1038. If you buy it under the 18-day average, why? Momentum's against you. Don't understand the trade. Palladium, same thing, just coming on down. Remember, what's this used in? Oh, catalytic converters. And what if they shut down the factories again? Do you really need any of that palladium? Big problem shaping up. So, fair warning. That's what you're dealing with. You want to be careful. And in the dollar, you know what this is about. This is about Wednesday at 1 o'clock. What does the Fed do? Doesn't do. How's the market react to 50, 75, 100 point hike? It's going to be one of the three. Does it think it's enough? Not enough? I can go on and on. I don't think there's a way to know. So you got to be very, very careful. And when I say careful, that brings me up to how I'll be working with you on some of this, because it's not that hard. What we have in some of these markets now, if I can get this to work for me, there it is, or it should have been, is I put out my morning videos. And in those videos, you just go to our website, iraepstein.com, and in the website, you go to the next step, you go to education, take a look at them. I think you'll like what you see there. You can always take this, follow it up, and it'll be to the word. It'll take you right to that education point. There'll be a cursor. Move your cursor up, rather, to the icon. You'll see it pop and handle it that way. I still haven't worked out how to get this thing always working the way that I want, but I will get it. You take care.